Hello YouTube, this is Drew back with another dash cam drive through a town in South Carolina, and today we're visiting the town of Hanahan, South Carolina, primarily, or perhaps wholly, I can't remember, I'll see if I can look it up, in Berkeley County. Hanahan is a suburb of Charleston. Hanahan, well, before we go any further, please like and subscribe to this video for no other reason than I would like you to. And if you'd like to see more dashcam drive-throughs, especially if you have a specific request, please put it in the comments. And if you feel so compelled to tell me something about Hanahan, put that in the comments too. Anyway, Hanahan is a suburb of Charleston. It is very, very close to North Charleston. I would say that they border each other. I do not know that for a fact, but all signs point to that being the case. And so this is really Hanahan for sure, because I saw a sign that said under the jurisdiction of the Hanahan Police Department down this road. So anyway, this is definitely Hanahan. We're going to go through most of the video here is going to be going through a residential area instead of businesses, and we got a pretty solid amount of video in Hanahan. Got a construction zone here. This is definitely looks like what would be a main street, or definitely the main artery of business in the town, especially local businesses. There's plenty of big box retailers all up and down the Charleston area. You know, Mount Pleasant has a sect. Charleston itself has a sect. North Charleston's got some. I'm sure Goose Creek probably has some. Hanahan has some. So it's a lot of just a repeat. As I think Timothy French says, and if you haven't watched one of his videos before, I suggest you look him up, check him out. Same olds. It's just the same old stuff over and over and over, and he is very right. Anyway, Hanahan really surprised me. I didn't realize it was going to be as charming as it is. Not to say that I thought it was going to be bad. I just didn't really know what to expect. Being in the Charleston area plenty already before, you know, you kind of get the feeling it's going to be like the rest, and more or less it was, but I didn't really expect to see this part of Hanahan, the residential part, and to see how it was pretty well maintained and not a bunch of brand new housing, which is I don't know if it's a problem, but it is to me everywhere else in the state, especially like Goose Creek have a ton, Monk's Corner has a ton, and I was pleasantly surprised to see Hanahan wasn't a victim of all that, or at least from what I saw. Anyway, moving on, and especially compared to North Charleston, which that'll be its own video. Yeah, okay, I'll just leave that there. Anyway, so the city of Hanahan.com is where I'm at today on the web. We're going to check out some of the history that is listed on that website. It says a brief history summary. In 1903, Mr. Ross Hanahan was chairman and a chemist with the Commissioners of Public Works in the city of Charleston. The first construction of the now present waterworks was a pumping station completed in 1903. The railroad station at Highland Park was renamed Hanahan Pumping Station and Hanahan Stop after Mr. Ross Hanahan. So the railroad built a station in Hanahan. Wow, I did not realize Hanahan would be what we consider a railroad town. I thought it was going to be just kind of a suburb. Grew up of Charleston. The city of Hanahan had to be trucked. Okay, so freight arriving via Seaboard Railroad located on the north side of the sea, Hanahan had to be trucked via Remount Road west on Highway 52 and right on Hanahan into the waterworks area. The reason for this route was there was no bridge across Turkey Creek. And Turkey Creek is something we're going to go over here. I'm looking at a different website right now, so I'm actually watching on video as I'm doing this. So if you see a body of water that we cross, that is Turkey Creek. The bridge was built over Turkey Creek in 1928. Hanahan was incorporated on September 21st, 1973. It is a public service district, a peaceful community, is what it says. Let's see what else. Alright, you get the generic, I shouldn't say generic, but the general colonization story that Charleston has. It says that Goose Creek first became under the jurisdiction of Berkeley County in 1682. That's pretty interesting. Actually, here's some interesting history on Berkeley County. Let's read that. Okay, the Charleston District was established encompassing all of present-day Berkeley County in 1791 and became Charleston County in 1868. When parishes were officially discontinued, Berkeley County was recreated in 1883 with a new county seat in the town of Mount Pleasant. I was going to the current Berkeley with Moncks Corner there. Town of Mount Pleasant alongside Shem Creek on the eastern side of Charleston Harbor. Moncks Corner upriver from Hanahan along the Cooper became the modern Berkeley County seat in 1895. So Mount Pleasant was the seat for 12 years. Now Mount Pleasant's in Charleston County. And Mount Pleasant, along with other lands seaward of the Wando River, a tributary of the Cooper, were reallocated to Charleston County in subsequent years. So there you go. Both these counties are huge, Berkeley and Charleston. Huge. Get a map out and look at it if you don't believe me or haven't really looked at it. Anyway, it says after the war between the states from 1861 to 1865, Reconstruction administered by the federal government from 1865 to 1876, and the earthquake of 1886, centered in nearby Somerville, plantations along the Goose Creek, like most in the Low Country, became unviable. The Hanahan area was then reborn under different economic forces, including railroad and military presence. So anyway, there's a whole other section there, settling Hanahan, birth of a city, events and recreation, religious institutions, all that on their history site. So they did a really, really good job. And if I keep talking, I'm not even going to be able to give out the population before the end of the video. So let's see if we can find that. Time is ticking and running out on me. Alright, the population, and it is wholly in Berkeley County. The Naval Weapons Station is nearby, and part of it is in Hanahan. It's got about 20,000 people live here, and the total area is 11 square miles. And we see a lot of those here, I would say. And 20,000 people, it's growing pretty quick. Not a surprise. It looks like a very nice part of the Charleston region, especially compared to some of the other places. We'll get to that later in another video. Keep looking out for that. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for Hanahan. It surprised me. I'll leave it at that. And here we left North Charleston to come to Hanahan, and we're getting ready to enter North Charleston again. So it's basically completely surrounded by that and the Naval Weapons Base. Anyway, that was Hanahan, South Carolina.